Alright guys, let's get right into this. It is currently the 9th of July 2015. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you today. And today we of course are talking about our several storm systems out here. We have Typhoon, Chan-hom, Linfa, and Nangka all approaching land areas today. So if I am not talking about your specific area in this update, please do go ahead and check out our Facebook page and also follow us on our Twitter and of course at the website. Several updates fully in depth on each one of these storm systems, including the heavy rainfall we have been seeing in the Philippines out here. A few highlights though. This is the first time we've had 3 typhoons. That's according to JTWC. JMA, as of making this, still has not upgraded Linfa to a typhoon, but I'm saying it is because it has a clear eye. The storm system's a typhoon. First time we've seen that in the Western Pacific in 20 years. Typhoon warnings are in place for Miyakojima and Ishigaki. That's where I'm really going to concentrate this update on. And also for those of you in the military, T-Core 1 has been issued. And it does look like you might go to 1E through the overnight hours. So something to watch out for. Really, here on your Thursday night, try not to have any outdoor plans, guys. Just stay inside. Stay hunkered down. Let's take a look at the visible satellite imagery. This is just impressive. We have Linfa right here. This actually is skirting the coastline right along Guangdong province. It has made landfall, but technically the center of circulation is just brushing along the coastline. So really, it's something to continue to watch. Then, of course, we have Chan-hom here, which is approaching the Ryukyu Islands. There's Okinawa right there. And then just towards the north of the Mariana Islands, we still have our Typhoon Nangka out here. Pretty impressive storm system. And out of the 3, this is actually the strongest out here in open ocean. Want to watch this one in the long range, though, because it very well could impact first the Ogasawara Islands, which are this group of islands over here, Chichi and Hahajima out there. But then eventually, anywhere from Tokyo to Okinawa, you might want to watch this storm system. It has been impacting those of you in Saipan today. Tropical storm warnings were issued. Big thing is in Saipan. If you're watching this on the 9th of July, you may want to explain to somebody how you're watching it because internet was shut off out here because the main fiber cable from Guam to Saipan was cut. They think it was because of this typhoon, first Chan-hom and then following right behind it. So no one on Saipan, or at least most people, don't have internet today unless they got a satellite device where they're getting it from. But anything cable going into there, they're cut off. So here's another look at the Himawari stat, our 3 storm systems. I want to get out of the way. I'll just show you this because it is not something you see every day out here. So let's talk about Chan-hom. Already causing some damage, some downed trees out here at Camp Henson in Okinawa. Also, we have been seeing reports of some fairly high winds. Actually, winds have been reported on Okinawa Honto over here just towards the northern edge of your screen. Upwards of about 40 to 50 knots gusting at this time. It's expected to continue to climb. Also, the Daito Islands, which are located just off there towards the northeast part of the screen, those have already reported winds nearing 60 knots, so near typhoon strength gusts have been reported. Now let's take a look at the intensity of this storm system at this time, which has winds 70 gusting to 100 knots, pressures down to 965 HPA, moving towards the northwest at about 20 kilometers per hour. Big thing out of this, though, is that you really want to take away is that the pressure is only at 965 HPA. This, if it was in the Atlantic, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency, is a Category 1 equivalent of a hurricane. Now, with that said, we're seeing this intensify, and it really is pushing a little bit stronger. JTWC actually has the intensity a little bit higher than this, upwards of a Category 2, possibly going to be a Category 3 once it pushes by Okinawa here as well. And the other big thing is just the size of it. It is absolutely massive. And you can already see these outer rain bands which are approaching Okinawa and the Naha area. Winds are continuing, of course, to continue to kick up here. And even with some of these outer rain bands, you could see some of those winds gusting well over 50 knots. And if we already seen there with that image I showed you a second ago, damage has already been reported. Okinawa Honto, max winds expected out here, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency, translated this from their Japanese warning, 54 gusting to 77 knots, 39-foot seas just off the coastline. don't head out to the coast. Remember last year we had that tragic story with the 3 airmen that got lost because they were out to the coast taking pictures. The year before that, 2 years before that, fishermen got too close, and sometimes you get these rogue waves that come up, and it's just absolutely nasty. Heavy rainfall expected as well, about 150 millimeters expected out there. For videographer James Reynolds and the several thousand people living on Miyako-jima, 77 gusting to 116 knots. Japan Meteorology Agency is expecting. That's pretty aggressive for them, guys. They usually don't go over 100 knots on their warnings, so they're expecting the storm system to push right over Miyako-jima as we go ahead through the overnight hours here on Thursday into early Friday morning, passing south of Okinawa Honto. So let's use the Meteor app here and take a closer look at exactly what's going to be happening over the next several hours. If you are watching this on Thursday evening, winds are already picking up. And I think Thursday evening into the basically in late night hours is when the winds are going to be at their highest here in Okinawa. And why I think that is even though it is not the closest approach of the storm at that point, we're going to be seeing those outer rain bands sweep through. And those are really bringing some of the strongest winds with it associated with this storm system. Now, as it does push by into the early morning hours on Friday, and I'm talking about from 12 to about 4 a.m., those winds are still going to be there, and you just stay inside, stay hunkered down, and we should see the storm system pass. Should taper off as we go ahead into Friday morning, though, as the storm tracks off there a little bit farther towards the west. But look at this, Miyako-jima right in the eye wall of this storm. You're going to be seeing some nasty winds out here. Over 200 kph, over 100 knots, seas upwards about 35 to 40 feet. And the good news is that most of this is rock cliff faces. Most of the buildings here are built above the storm line. So storm surge, yes, there will be coastal flooding, but people of Miyako-jima, this island is built like a fortress. There's no such thing as evacuation out here. They see at least 2 or 3 typhoons a year. Many of these people have been through numerous typhoons, so you get used to it after a while, and they built their island to withstand these storm systems. Not going to be the case, though, as we look ahead into the next several days. Over the weekend, the storm system is expected to move south of Shanghai, and I think this is going to be a major threat for coastal villages up and down this area, and probably going to be seeing evacuations here. Not in the southern Japanese islands, but over here into basically across Fujian province. Evacuation orders probably already being put in place, and we're going to be seeing some winds, likely upwards of typhoon strength, and a big rainmaker for these coastal areas. So if you are out here in eastern China, you plan on making a visit there, you do want to watch out for that. Look back towards the east, though. We still have those gusty winds. We're still looking at gale force winds into the Okinawa area, even heading into Saturday because of that inflow wrapping around. And if we pull back the picture and look towards the south, follow that inflow all the way back towards the Philippines, that's that flood threat we're talking about. I've been seeing media reports out here saying Falcon is coming your way. Falcon is the name of the storm in the Philippines, Chan-hom. It's not so much a direct impact. It's that monsoonal inflow that we're talking about. And it's going to be a nasty one. Don't let anybody kid you. We're really looking at a serious flood threat here, and that is still going to impact those of you off into the southern Japanese islands throughout the entire weekend. So if you think this weekend the weather is going to be shaping up fantastic, that is not the case. Those rain bands are still coming in, guys, and it's still going to be a pretty foul one. So fortunately, it is a weekend event, and it could be a flood event in the southern Japanese islands if that rain does persist. And then, hey, we're not over yet. Look at Nangka back here towards the east, and that one's going to waver around and really kind of get tied up with that moisture inflow as well, and it also could be buffered by a high pressure back towards the north, which may bring it on a straight path towards the west, towards the Okinawa area. A lot going on with these storm systems. Do want to mention that one more time, that flood threat back here towards the Philippines. That's just the rainfall accumulation outlook, and it just kind of gives you an idea of what I'm talking about across this area. All right, guys, that is all for me right now. Stay safe. If you have any photos or videos on any of these storms, floods in the Philippines, if you are in Saipan and you do have the internet access, please send me some photos. Also, there into the Hong Kong area, I know you have been issued Singapore's 3. Not quite the 7 yet, but it's getting there, and Linfa could head off into your direction. And then, of course, in the southern Japanese islands, where the bulk of this update, of course, is. I know that we have a lot of people watching from there, pretty worried about it, so that's what I'm concentrating on. I may make 2 other video updates on the other storms Probably not going to be green screen. This takes a little bit longer to edit and put together. So, yeah, thanks guys for watching. And as always, stay safe out there. Bye.